Hello everyone, welcome to mvpvishwakosha. Today we are discussing 12th and 13th October 2025 current affairs. In that first point, that is about recent, that is National Green Hydrogen Mission. Under that, three ports recognized as green hydrogen hubs. Okay, so here you should know about National Green Hydrogen Mission. The government of India launched the National Green Hydrogen Mission to promote the development of green hydrogen. That is, green hydrogen means hydrogen produced using renewable energy and its derivatives as a clean fuel to reduce carbon emission and to turn India into a global hubs for green hydrogen. So the mission envisages creation of green hydrogen hubs and hydrogen valley innovative clusters where production, consumption, storage, and transport of hydrogen and derivatives are concentration. Also, main that the mission aims for scale economics and that is integrated ecosystem. That means production, storage, transport, use, and rather than fragmented efforts. Okay, and also in this mission, the guidelines revised that June 2020, June 27, 2025 that allow recognition of location as green hydrogen hubs even without direct central financial assistance under the component B2. But such hubs can tap incentives under other central or state schemes and also use a cluster-based development model is emphasized in the mission that identify a cluster where hydrogen production and consumptions are close to reduce transport cost and build shared infrastructure. And also India's target, that is the mission, is part of India's commitment to energy transition and achieving net zero by 2070. Important point. And also the recent time, India has signaled that is intended to capture 10% global green hydrogen demand by 2030. Okay. In this recent, that major three ports, that is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, formally designated three major ports as green hydrogen hubs. Okay, in that first port is Deen Dayal Port Authority, that is Gujarat, V.O. Chidambaram Port Authority, Tamil Nadu, Paradip Port Authority, Odisha. Okay, these three ports project established within these zones will be eligible for benefits under the central state schemes. Okay, tied to national green hydrogen mission and also that catalyst of clean energy innovation and also that Tuticorin, that is VA Chidambaram Port, Green Hydrogen Pilot Project, and also Deen Dayal Port, all that in Make in India. Ports are nodal points. Okay, so that is about very important recent three ports. That is three major ports recognized as green hydrogen hubs. Next news. That is about recent announcement that USA will impose a 100% tariff on Chinese imports. In that, US President Donald Trump announced that starting 1st November 2025, the US would impose an additional 100% tariff on imports from China over and above existing tariff. And also, the stated reason is in response to China's export control on rare earth materials and other critical minerals, which the US claims are being used by China as strategic leverage. And also the announcement also include plans for stricter export control on critical software from the US side as part of a broader package. And also China has responded sharply, warning of retaliation and calling the US move as hypocritical and or a double standard. And also this existing tariff and trade war legacy, China's export control on rare earth important, and also that is domestic political and strategic consideration, also leverage negotiating tactics, all that perspective, it is very important. Okay, so that is about US to impose an additional 100% tariff on Chinese imports. Next point, that is about PM, that is announcement of two new central agriculture schemes. Important. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched two new agriculture schemes with a combined outlay of rupees 35,440 crore. So in that first scheme is Pradhan Mantri, that is pmdhandhaanyakrishi Yojana. It is outlay of rupees 24,000 crore. This is the main focus of 100 that is underperforming agriculture districts. Main objective is to improve agriculture productivity, diversifying cropping, strengthen post-harvest infrastructure, that means storage, cold chain, etc. And also increase irrigation access, integrate credit support, coordinate across ministries. Okay, and also these 100 districts are selected based on three parameters: yield per hectare, cropping intensity. Okay, cropping intensity means number of crops per year, and also credit investment indirect. And also main next scheme is that is a mission for Atmanirbharata in pulses, that is Pulse Self-Reliance Mission or Dalhan Atmanirbharata Mission. It is outlay of rupees 11,440 crore. Main focus is to achieve self-sufficiency in pulse production to reduce import dependency. Main objective is to increase pulses area and productivity, strengthen the entire value chain, that is procurement, storage, processing, reduce post-harvest losses also. Main target raise pulses production from 2.38 lakh tons currently to 350 lakh tons by 2030-31. Okay, very important to scheme. Okay, it is will be implemented starting the upcoming Rabi season. Okay, and will run through till 2030-31. Okay, in this schemes, agriculture distress and low productivity in certain districts, pulses import dependency, value chain integration, crop diversification, and sustainable agriculture. All that perspective. Two schemes are very important. Okay, so that is about Pradhan Mantri, that is pmdhandhaanyakrishi and mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses. Next news that is about tribal community has reportedly achieved a literacy rate of over 72%. Here, the President of India, in a recent interaction with the members of tribal community, noted that the tribal community classified as a particularly that PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, has achieved literacy rate over 72%. The announcement was noted in that. The government statistics showed that the Siddhi, it is a that is also an Afro-Indian, that is Afro-descendant community in India with origin tracing to African people. Okay, that is they found in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, and the other states. They are classified as scheduled tribes in many regions, and more specifically as a PVTGs, they are particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Historically, they have confronted multiple disadvantages: isolation, poverty, low educational attainment, limited land holding, social exclusion, remoteness. Okay, in that achievement, that is 72% is very important in their achievement. Okay, so that is about recent news. That is the tribal community that has achieved over 72% of literacy. Next news that is about US-Qatar defense deal, that is military cooperation. Here that recent news relating to that Qatari Air Force facilitating in the USA. The US and Qatar signed a letter of agreement allowing Qatar to build an dedicated facility within the existing Mountain Home Air Force base. Idaho. The facility will host a contingent of Qatari F-15 fighter jets in Qatari pilot who will train alongside US forces to enhance that interoperability and combined readiness. Also, the arrangement is explicitly not a full foreign base. Control remains with the US. It is a more embedded facility, training presence with the US Air Base. Okay. Qatar is making a commitment that the initial 10 years is to construct and maintain the facility. And also in 2025, the US approval to deal for Qatar to purchase MQ-9B Predator armed drones. Okay, and also the US Senate rejected that resolution to block the arms sale. Very important. Qatar's need for training space. Qatar is a small in land area, right? And also interoperability and alliance deepening, geopolitical signaling, security guarantee, deterrence, arms sales, strategic performance. All that perspective it is very important. Okay, so that is about Qatar's new Qatar and US's diplomatic that in military purpose ties. Next news that is about Buddhas. Buddhas, that is the Buddhas of Bamiyan were two monumental statues carved into sandstone cliffs of Bamiyan Valley, Afghanistan. So the large statue, that is Salsal, Western Buddha, stood about 55-meter tall. The smaller one, Shamamu, okay, Eastern Buddha, about 38-meter tall. They dated about 6th and 7th century, reflecting a blend of Greco-Buddhist Gandhara art and local artistic traditions. Bamiyan was a keynote of the Silk Roads. The region had many monasteries, caves with murals, and served as a cross-cultural region and artistic center. These statues were destroyed in March 2001 by the Taliban under the edict of Mullah Omar as part of their campaign against idolatrous images. After the destruction, what remains are that cavities in the cliff fragments surrounding, and also the cultural landscape and archaeological remains of Bamiyan Valley was inscribed in 2003 on the World Heritage List, also under the World Heritage in Danger. Okay. That is restoration of artwork destroyed during Taliban era, and also Taliban interest reviving that Buddha's concern about site degradation, symbolic replica damage, all that perspective it is very important. Okay. So that is about recent news about Bamiyan Buddha's statue and next news that is about latest development in Sudan. Okay, that attack issues and all. So here that attack on displacement shelter in for North Darfur. So the paramilitary rapid support force conducted drone and artillery strike on shelters on the campus. Omdurman Islamic University hosting displaced families. At least 53 civilians, including 14 children and 15 women, were killed, and dozen more were injured. UNICEF reported that at least 17 children died in the same attack. The strike also targeted neighborhoods, hospital, and mosque, and that city of El Fasher is under siege. Around 260,000 civilians are trapped with limited access to food, water, medical service. Historically, it is important that Saudi, that is a maternal teaching hospital, El Fasher, was struck by drones and okay, that earlier development and that ICC conviction or overdue accountability step in that perspective, it is important, and also international and UN response on the human right concern that even High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk condemned attack on civilians and called for accountability, including lessons from the Kushabu conviction. All that perspective, it is important that mass casualties, the destruction of health, civilian infrastructure, famine and food insecurity, child right violations, psychological trauma, social fabric breakdown, all that perspective, it is very important. Okay, so that is about recent Sudan conflict and attack. Next news that is about a recent NATO aircraft mission near the Russian border. So that is two Royal Air Force UK surveillance aircraft RC-13W Rivet Joint Electronic Surveillance Aircraft and a P-8A Poseidon Maritime Patrol Aircraft flew a 12-hour joint mission along the NATO eastern flank, patrolling close to the Russian border. The mission route skirted borders with Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine, and also included the Black Sea and Baltic Sea approaches. And also, the UK aircraft were supported by US KC-135 tanker for aerial refueling, showing that coordinated that is transatlantic effort. And also, the mission was declared a demonstration of NATO's resolve and unity for face of repeated Russian air drone incursion. Okay, and also that Russia, very important that mission, that Russian air or drone incursion into NATO's airspace, right? Recent, and also that escalating tension on NATO's eastern flank and signaling deterrence, surveillance, and intelligence gathering, risk management, and procedural test, all that perspective, it is important. Okay, so that is about recent UK NATO flew to 12-hour patrol mission near Russian border. Next news that is about recent Pakistan-Afghanistan border clashes and attacks. Okay, so here that heavy clashes erupted along Pakistan-Afghanistan border after Afghan forces reportedly attacked the Pakistan border post. The conflict was triggered after Pakistan airstrikes in Afghanistan. That is led to retaliation by Afghan Taliban force. Pakistan says 23 of its soldiers were killed. The Taliban Afghanistan claim 58 Pakistan soldiers died. So Pakistan claim it killed more than 200 Afghan fighters in counter strike, and also the Afghan side also claims to have captured 25 Pakistan border posts. In response to the exchange, Pakistan closed several major and minor border crossings. And also the Kuram region saw intermittent that is gunfire continuing even after the main clashes subsided. Afghanistan Taliban denied harboring a militant and claimed that it is a retaliatory operation where response to repeated Pakistan violation of its territory airspace. It is important that Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of harboring Taliban Pakistan TTP militant launching attacks into Pakistan. And also cross-border retaliation, sovereignty, and weaker border control law, and Taliban's internal law, balancing legitimacy, all that perspective, it is important. Okay, so that is about recent Afghanistan-Pakistan border issue. Next news that is about the last news, that is recent development regarding Sawalkot hydroelectric hydropower project on the Chenab River in Jammu and Kashmir. Here the Sawalkot hydroelectric project is proposed on the Chenab River in the that is Amban Udhampur Patout region in Jammu and Kashmir. The project purpose installed capacity of 1856 megawatt, and it is often described a run of the river type hydropower scheme. So the design include a dam component. Okay, this project was originally conceptualized decades ago, and also the cost estimates have risen. Your reports support estimate cost range rupees 31,380 crore. Recent development that environment clearance, forest land diversion, panel approvals, all that important. So the Environment Ministry Expert Appraisal Committee has recommended the Savalkot project for environment clearance. This is significant because the project, although earlier cleared in principle 2017, had not received final clearance, primarily because forest clearance was pending, and also forest land diversion in principal forest areas and exemption, all that clearances, cumulative impact assessment, fresh and updated baseline, strategically, Indus Water Treaty suspension. In that perspective, it is important. Okay, so that is about recent news. That is about Sawalkot hydroelectric project on Chenab River and its environmental clearance. Okay, so that is about 12th and 13th October 2025 current affairs. Thank you. Support me for further videos so that I can analyze all the topics required for UPSC and all competitive exam. Thank you.